Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you in your different time zones around the world, across the country. It's Thursday. It's 8 p.m. on the East Coast. It's 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's Friday morning in London at 1 a.m. And it's 9 a.m. on a Friday in Tokyo. Hi, everybody. Welcome once again to another edition of Talk Back Live, a Thursday edition. Of course, each Thursday we're here bringing you, of course, information, and we get you involved in the show. And the purpose of the show is to get everybody involved. And we do that because you can talk to us verbally, maybe not verbally, but phonetically by way of text, right? All you have to do is type in whatever you want to type in, and we'll see it right there on the big screen. And you can say anything you want. We have all kinds of topics open to everyone. So if you have a particular topic that you want to talk about, by all means, you can chime in. Of course, as always, I start off the show with a topic, and then you can throw yours in, and we will acknowledge it as I see it up on the big screen. And of course, we'll take care of all of that for you because we like your input. And those of you who are joining for the first time, well, we're coming here to you live in 3 different places. We're live on Facebook right now, along with Instagram, and of course, we're on YouTube as well. And you can pick your choice wherever you are and just join in on the action. And make sure you tell your friends about it. If you're watching us on Facebook right now, well, first of all, you can tag your friends right now. Tag your friends, because I know you have a lot of friends on Facebook. Tag them and let them know that we're on the air. You can do that right now as we speak, and they'll join in. They'll see that you're out here. You can talk to them as you talk to others, as I talk to you and others as well, all of you who come in. Those of you who are watching us on Instagram, all you have to do is just follow us each week. And what you're doing right now is the right thing. And if you're watching us on YouTube, we invite you to check out our YouTube channel and subscribe to it. Just do that, because when you do that, what happens is that whenever we come on live with anything, or even if we are so much post a video of some sort, you will get of course, a notification, providing you're online, of course, and you'll see it and you can go right directly to it. And so that makes you part of the family as well. So tell your friends about it and get them involved in the action, and we'll be waiting for them as they come in too. We like to say hello to all of you guys who are watching, to all of the places that I mentioned. And thank you so much for being along with us. We've got our show, as we do, in conjunction with involving you. We have our features, our different features, of course, that we provide you each week. First of all, in a few minutes from now, Brian Camp will be here coming to direct from Charlotte, North Carolina. You'll get to meet him. He'll come on screen and he'll give you the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And we'll have all of that. We'll be talking about the Yankees. The Yankees are playing right now. They're on the air. And what they're doing is, there's no score right now, as I can tell. No score for the Yankees. They're playing the Cincinnati Reds right now. So we'll talk more about that and find out what happens. Because usually when we go off the air, you know, someone goes on the board. One of those teams go on the board. Or if, let's say, for instance, the opposing team to the Yankees go on the board first, and then I always predict that when I get off the air, they will be on the board too, and possibly be ahead. So we'll see what happens. We'll talk more about that later too. Also later on in the program, I have got this day in history. I have a lot of events that I want to talk about on this day in history, everything that happened on this day in history. Also, we have information about those Turner Classic Movies. Turner Classic Movies, you know, you love those old classic movies, right? Well, each week I give you the picks, my particular picks of the week on what's happening, and I'll display that for you. And of course, I'll tell you about other movies that you could watch, because I want to add that to your bucket of list on what to do for the weekend. Now, being that the summer is here, there's more things to do now than ever before, because a lot of people are doing more outdoor things than they've been doing before, because the weather is warmer. And so they want to get around to doing that. And being that the weather is warmer, the people are going to hit the beaches. I know out here in New York, all of our beaches, Coney Island, we have Orchard Beach, we have Long Island Beach and Rockaway Beach, and People are stacked up on the beaches and just getting their tans in gear and just enjoying the sunshine. We had bright sunshine today, as a matter of fact. But, you know, things like that happen. And of course, in California, which is I call Beach City, especially if you're in the area, let's say, for instance, on LA County, and if you want to go over to Santa Monica, which is where my favorite place is, that's definitely beach and bikinis and swimsuits and everything there. So it's all right there. So therefore, that's what's happening. So we want to thank you so much. And I see people are coming in on Facebook. They're sitting idle. Of course, if you don't want to say anything in particular, it's okay, as long as you're out there. And we invite you to stay with us for the balance of the show. As I said, it's an hour show. And if you can't spend a whole hour with us, we would really appreciate whatever time you could spend with us, but we hope that it's the entire hour. I usually, a long time ago, if you remember, the big topic was the COVID-19, right? And when I open the show, I usually start with that. And, you know, I haven't been doing that for a long time, but I must say this, that this situation is not over. By no means necessary, it's not over. Because now what everybody knows, and if you don't know by now, there's a new variant, and they're asking people, at least in our area where we are right now, they're asking people to mask up in public places once again. Of course, I've been doing that all along anyway, so they don't have to worry about me. But for the people who feel a little more comfortable not wearing masks and let their guard down, kind of put your guard up once again, because we got this new variant right now that's amongst us, and it's called the BA. The BA, I believe it's the BA, we'll check it out. We'll check it out. For those of you who, yeah, it's the BA3, I believe it is, right? I'm gonna have to pull up that and find out for sure. Let me pull that right up. I'm gonna pull it up right now and find out for sure. I had it in the back of my mind and I had it there. So let me just pull that up right now and see what I can get. Just give me a second here. Let's see. Excuse me while I'm a little happy tune, right? Let's see, there we go. Okay, I do have it. It's the new COVID variant is called BA5. I said 3, but it's BA5. I knew it was somewhere along the line like that. BA5, that's the new COVID variant. Let me take a little time to tell you about that and what they're saying about it right now. That this virus, this new virus, it popped up, and who knows how long it's going to stay here. Don't forget, when the winter comes around, things tend to spike even more. So let's keep this in mind. Let's keep our eye on this BA5. They say it's a little more infectious, you know, more so than the previous ones we had. But people are taking the shots, and people, if you haven't taken your shots yet, then I don't know what you're waiting for. But I'm just hoping that the majority of you who have been keeping up with all of your shots, you should be at the point now where you're up to your second booster shot. Whatever, let's say, vaccine that you have taken, you know, whether it's Moderna or Pfizer, we already know that Johnson & Johnson was a one-shot deal. So I'm thinking that if you got a booster with that, you should be on the third one. For the rest of you, it should be on your fourth shot. So they're talking about that. So you want to make sure you're up to date with your vaccinations, because this thing that's coming around, it's, you know, you're more likely not to wind up in a hospital, and more likely not to wind up, you know, on a deathbed or anything like that. So that's why they're urging you to take all of your vaccinations, keep them up to date. All right. Again, if you're on the vaccination that's, and if you're strictly, because I like to be strict with my intake of vaccine, and mine is the Pfizer. Some people take Moderna, and other people take J&J. And if you're strict on those, you want to stay with one, that's okay too, right? They say that you can mix and match, but I don't think about that. But whatever. But if you're strict like I am, if you're taking Pfizer, you should be up to your fourth shot. Of course, the 2 initial shots, and then the first booster, and then the second booster. So that makes 4 shots. If you're doing Moderna, it's the same thing. But if you're doing J&J, it should be up to your 3rd shot to cover everything. All right, your first initial shot, and then the 2 boosters. So we should be up to date with that. We ask you to be up to date with that, so this way we don't spread it as easy. People are still walking around, not getting the message, but they're urging you to mask up. Now here in New York where we are, the cases have gone up. So that's what I'm concerned about too. I don't know, maybe you can tell me in your area what the statistics are there, the rates are where you are. Give me some information if you can, or if you like. I really would appreciate that. That would be a good thing to know. But it's coming around. When you think that we had this nailed, when you think we had it all together, you know, it's just more spikes come along. And again, it'll be only a couple of months before we reach the fall and the winter months, and the weather gets colder. So now the spikes elevate. And then this way we want to make sure that we're all safe. That's why I say, you know, keep up with your shots. All right. Now, if you haven't taken any shots at all, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? You think by now, I would hope that you would think by now that you came to the point where, you know, well, maybe they're right. A lot of people who have taken those shots didn't wind up in the hospital. Nobody died from taking the shots. Nobody's controlled by taking the shots. And I hope that if that was what you're thinking, I hope that this swayed you. And by looking at everyone who have taken the shots and surviving it, and even if they develop COVID, you know, they stand a big chance of not being hospitalized or gravely ill. So again, so watch out for this one. Watch out for this one. It's a virus that you don't want to mess with. They say it's called the BA5, and they just keep coming faster. You know something, I just totally gave up on, not gave up, but kind of lost track of every variant that we had. You know, I just kind of lost track of it all because they're just coming faster and faster each year. There's more and more. You get them when it comes around to the summer months, they start to come along, and then when the winter comes along, it elevates, it spikes more. Or possibly you get another variant, and you know, and we continue to wear our masks. Now I know, and I have to admit too, I am sick and tired of the mask wearing. Tired of it. I'm tired of it. But if it takes to help me out, protect me in this time, that's good. Now, right now, people, we're not saying that they're closing down things right now. I don't know if they're going to get to that point, we're going to shut down things like they did before. It doesn't look that way. I doubt if they will. I doubt. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm not. But it doesn't, to me, right now, look like they're going to shut down everything, because remember how it was in the very beginning, right? And the streets were deserted. No one was out. Everyone stayed home. The campaign was to everyone stay home and don't go out. Spend 6 feet away from your neighbors and friends and family, no gatherings or anything like that. People are gathering. We had the 4th of July, people gathered then. And we hope that when you do have your gatherings, most of your gatherings are on the outside. And it would be good to know if you're doing something indoors that everyone, it would help that if you knew that everyone was vaccinated, and your house or wherever the indoor venue is, it's fully, the air is coming right through. You know, the air quality is good, and that just, you know, helps out a lot. So ladies and gentlemen, again, keep up with that. It's the variant BA5 is what we're looking at right now. Now, of course, a lot of you, if you're wondering where to go to get your shots, it's easy. All you have to do is consult either with your doctor. Your doctor may have a supply of what you need, and he can administer it to you. You could also get it from your favorite pharmacist. You know, they have that. And those of you who have that card, you know, you want to keep that card at all times. Right now, as it goes right now, very few people are asking for proof of your vaccination. because things are kind of a little loose now. But if they happen to go back to that, you're going to want to have that information. Keep it in your phone at all times, regardless of whether or not people are asking for it. Keep it in your phone at all times, just like you carry around your driver's license or any kind of other legal identification. You want to make sure that everything is okay, everything is fine. So that's what we look forward to. And we're going to have to follow this, see where it goes. And wherever it goes, we're going to make sure that we informed you, and we're going to make sure that you're all safe about it. And it'll all be good. So let's keep that in mind. Okay, we had enough of that. We're going to talk more, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, I want to go over to Charlotte, North Carolina, because Brian Camp is out there waiting, and he's anxious to get on board because he has the latest developments in today's world of sports. So Brian, how's it going?
I'm doing fine. Doing well. It's 82 degrees out here in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's been a wonderful day, and just finally had some great clear weather. It rained all last week. Even rained on my birthday, but that was okay. It was still a good day. Cannot let rain stop my birthday.
Did you have a good time?
Yes, I want to thank you and of course my dear brother and everybody else that came to celebrate me on a surprise birthday party. I was like totally surprised. I mean, shell shocked.
Yeah. Tina did that very well. She handled that very well.
Yeah, she's a pro. She is definitely a pro and everything. I thank her.
She said, we did it. I said, no. I said, you did it. All I did was, whatever she needed from me, information or whatever it was, I was there to provide it for if I could. But she did that by herself.
She did with some help, but this is what she do, and this is who she is. And but again, I want to thank you because you always been my biggest supporter. You always encourage me, and I just want to thank you once again and everything, so, but it was a beautiful weekend. The barbecue was magnificent. People ate. They just were so full, and I'm so happy everybody enjoyed themselves. So, but let me get to sports. We got Richard Jefferson, former basketball player. Now he's a television analyst. Now he's a referee. He was refereeing basketball games. He was called for 2,637 fouls in his career playing basketball, along with 45 technical fouls. Well, he fouled out 14 games. He even got ejected, twice. So he got kicked out. It was always he's always like a suspected referee, didn't have any easy job. But now he has, like I said, he's played 17 years and he works for ESPN, was making his officiating debut as a summer league referee on Monday night in Vegas to work for the second quarter of a game between the Knicks and the Trailblazers. So he's trying to get a new career. This is something that he had his eye on, and it was like an honorary assignment on his part. The NBA had pulled Jefferson to work to get him ready. He says it's going through hours of instructions of this 10-minute gig, studying video and with other referees, and he says it has helped him to become a better analysis for games. So congratulations to him. History was made. Rob Thornton in the NBA became the first Canadian to manage a Major League Baseball game in his home country in Canada, when he led the Philadelphia Phillies against the Toronto Blue Jays. It was great to be home, he says. Before batting practice, he says, I love coming back here to his homeland. He says, I love the work, especially when the roof is open, because they got a retractable roof in Toronto. And he just loved it, and he was among friends and former teammates. So congratulations to him. as he starts a new assignment, a new journey as manager. So congratulations to him. Brittany Griner, as you know, is still has been locked up in a Russian jail. Her trial is not yet been determined, but LeBron James has said, we need to do a better job. He says, now how can we feel like she's American when has her back against the wall and she's shipped over there in Russia where she needs to be helped? President Biden, the WNBA and the NBA are still working a way to work out a deal to bring her back home where she could be with her loved ones. But right now, we just still have to wait and see how this is going to turn out. A lot of people is getting involved with this, and we just wait and see. But the U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, has said Washington will come to work with the release of Griner, as well as the other Americans held hostage in Moscow, including former Marine Paul Whelan. So we're just gonna have to wait and see how this pans out, but it's looked like it's going to be a long fought time. Keith Hernandez, remember him? Former New York Met. Well, guess what? His number's been retired. He said from the podium between pitcher in the pitcher's mound on second base where he stood, he said, "I never dreamed that I'd be here this long in baseball in an organization where he absolutely humble and proud that his number will be in the Raptors for eternity. That means nobody will ever wear his number." Moments later, the blue and orange trim was unveiled. As you know, they unveiled the banner of his at Citi Field where the Mets play at. That's where he was played for his second part of his career. He started with the Cardinals alongside his number 36, Jerry Kuzman was there. Former Hall of Famers Tom Seaver, Mike Piazza are the only other Mets that have their numbers retire. Former managers Casey Stengel and Gil Hodges also have their numbers retired. So congratulations to him. Well deserved. So congratulations to him. This day in sports, July 14th, 1934, New York Times declared Babe Ruth 700 career home run is to stand for all time. It will never be broken. Well, that's not the case. It's been broken by two other players. Barry Bonds and Hank Aaron have surpassed Babe Ruth's 714th career. That's the total that he has. 1951, the first color telecast of a sporting event. It was on CBS. It was horse racing. So that's where they had the first color telecast. 1968, Atlanta Braves Hank Aaron hits his 500 career home run off a San Francisco Giant Mike McCormick. 1974, Billy Martin is the first American League manager ejected by Empire from 2 games in one day. That means they had a doubleheader, so he got ejected on both games. Why? I have no idea. Billy Martin, if you remember him, was a very vocal, animated manager who spoke his mind, didn't back down. 1987, Rookie of the Year award was renamed to the honor of Jackie Robinson. 1988, Mike Schmidt passes Mickey Mantle with 537 home runs and go into 7th place at that time. 1996, New York Yankees John Rutland set the major league record of 24 consecutive saves. 24 consecutive saves. That means for 24 consecutive times he came in, he put out the fire, he got a save. He did that 24 consecutive times. Birthdays on this date, 1932. Roosevelt Greer, known as Rosie Greer, actor, minister, NFL player, was born in Cuthbert, Georgia. 1967, Robin Ventura, Major League infielder, was born in Santa Maria, California. 1974, Eric Dampier, NBA center, was born in Jackson, Mississippi. And in 1988, Conor McGregor, you heard of Conor McGregor, the USFC fighter. He was born in Dublin, Ireland, and that is sports.
Mentioned Roosevelt Greer. He's also an actor. I loved him in Sophisticated Gents.
Yes. Yeah.
I can watch that movie 1,000 times.
He's an actor. He's a minister. Yeah.
Yeah. He's been around. He's been around.
Former football.
By the way, the Yankees are playing, and they're playing the Reds, Cincinnati Reds, and the Reds got them so far by 1 run.
Yeah, last night was a heartbreaker loss too.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, listen, heartbreaker for who? For the Reds.
Well, the Yankees were up 3-0 going into the 9th inning, and they lost the game.
Oh, they won the game.
No, they didn't. You probably went to bed before the game was over. The Cincinnati Reds came back and scored 4.
No, the Cincinnati Reds lost that game because there was a where are you from? What time zone are you in?
Did we see the game last night?
I saw the game last night. I was watching wrestling. The wrestling went off, and of course I was going back and forth between the Yankee game and the Yankees won last night. Go on your computer. And
1 in 10 innings. But the night before that, they blew a lead.
Before that, yeah, they lost the before. I mean, but last night they won.
Last night they won in 10 innings. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. That's what I was saying.
Okay. Yes.
And of course they lost 3 in a row. So,
yeah.
So they broke that.
So they're back on the winning track, but they're losing tonight. Yes.
Yeah. Well, they're losing tonight so far. So by the time I have to make my prediction again, by the time we get off the air, they'll be back in the lead, hopefully. I'm not going to make any more predictions and blow it.
No predictions, right.
Just leave it like that. I know this has nothing to do with sports, and I'm not linking it to politics either, because she has nothing to do with politics. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because she was her own person. But I'm pretty sure you heard about it now. Ivana Trump passed away. Did you hear about that?
Yes, I believe that was Donald Trump's first wife, I believe it was.
His first wife. Mm-hmm. And she passed away at 73 years old. Now, isn't that Ivanka's mother?
Yes, and Donald Jr., I believe, too.
His mother, and Eric, that's the mother, right?
Yes. I give my condolences to the children and to the former president, Donald J. Trump, because that's, we got to be respectful. That's his ex-wife. And, we send our prayers and condolences to the entire Trump family during this.
The only other child that he has is Barron, but that's with his current wife, right?
I believe that's true,
so
yes.
He didn't have any children with Donna Rice, did he? Or was it Donna Rice, or was it
Maples?
Right. Maples, right.
Paula Maples, I think is her name.
Yeah, he didn't have any children with her, did he?
I don't
think so. I think it's just the 3 children with Ivana Trump and the one with his current wife.
Yes.
The teenager.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, I found out just before I went on the air. I found out about that. She was a lady of her own. She was her own lady,
Yes, she
went out. She was an entrepreneur. She had her own line of clothing, and she did all of that by herself. So, I commend her for that. But I didn't even know, was she ill or anything? I didn't finish reading.
I don't know. I didn't read the headlines. I just saw the news flash that she had passed away at 73. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to mention that at the top of the show, but I was very more talking about this new variant that's going on right now that everybody should know about. And if they don't, they should pay attention to this new variant called the BA5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not going to panic.
No.
Concern, yeah, of course, but we don't panic. We just got to keep our faith and that everything is going to be okay. But it's another variant that's out there, so we just gotta just be aware and just be careful. Wear your mask, sanitize, and stay out of the way of people who are not vaccinated.
That reminds me, I have to get another test
Mm-hmm.
because I got a test before I came out to Charlotte. And so I figured by Monday, I like to wait for a couple of days before I take the test. When you travel, you want to make sure you take a test before and after.
Yes.
I took the test traveling. I was okay traveling, coming back, but I don't like to take the test as soon as I get back. I want to get a chance.
Yeah.
We all know something. So I figured by Monday I'll take another test. I'm trying to stay healthy as possible. I want to stay healthy as possible, more energetic and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we will catch you back here tomorrow, right?
Yes, you'll see me tomorrow. God's willing. Yes.
Good enough. Good enough. We'll see you then. Okay. Have yourself a great one.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And of course, he'll be here tomorrow on the coffee hour along doing his part. That's the 2020 feature. He does the first part of the 2020 feature, 20 past the hour with sports, the latest developments in today's world of sports and Sports Update. And the second part of the feature, the 2020, the 22 the hour, DJ Pete will be along. And as far as I know right now, DJ Pete will be here tomorrow as well. And he'll give you entertainment news and, of course, recite all of those birthdays of people of notoriety. That's all coming in. We have it all for you. For those of you who are just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. My name is Frank Allan. Of course, I'm with you for the duration. And we've already ate up 31 minutes already. So we've got a little more time left. If you're out there and if you're watching us on Facebook Live, please, you have a little time left before we go off the air. So tag your friends and let us know. Let them know that we're on the air. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. This way, whenever we go on live or we post a video or some sort, you will get that notification. And that's a great reminder. If you're online, you can see that and you can just chime right in with no problem. And of course, all of you who are watching us on Instagram, thank you so much, all of you guys. Thank you so much for being along with us. Here, a lot of people watch, a lot of people don't chime in, but that's okay. But whatever time you could spend with us, we really would appreciate that. But we hope that it's the bulk of the time. So there you go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time on this day in history. Here we go, back to 1953. The first U.S. national monument dedicated to a Black American to preserve the boyhood home of architectural and scientist and innovator, that's George Washington Carver in Newton County, Missouri. On this day in history, in 1967, Surveyor 4 launched, so that's Surveyor 4. They launched to the moon and exploded just before it landed. And the same year, in 1967, The Who began a US tour opening for Herman's Hermit. Back in 1968, WSWO-TV, Channel 26 in Springfield, Ohio, ABC station started their first broadcast. Back in 1969, the movie Easy Rider, directed by Dennis Hopper, starring himself, Peter Fonda, and Jack Nicholson, was released. It was a good movie, too. In 1972, Jean Westwood is the first woman chosen to head the Democratic National Committee. Back in 1976, the Democratic Convention in New York City nominates former Georgia Governor Jimmy Carter for president and U.S. Senator Walter Mondale from Minnesota for vice president. Back in 1977, North Korea shoots down U.S. helicopter and 3 people were killed. Back in 1986, Paul McCartney releases a single, Press, taken from the album Press to Play. In 1986, Richard Miller becomes the first FBI agent convicted of espionage. Back in 1987, Steve Miller's star was unveiled on Hollywood's Walk of Fame. In 1988, WYHY Radio offers $1 million to anyone who can prove that Elvis is still alive. On this day in history in 1986, when Harry Met Sally, it was released starring Billy Crystal, Meg Ryan, and it was directed by Rob Reiner and written by Nora Ephron. Back in 1992, actress Nell Carter undergoes brain surgery. In 1996, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying closed at the Richard Rogers Theater in New York City after 548 performances. In 2008, The Dark Knight, starring and directed by, well, he didn't star in it, but he directed. Christopher Nolan directed it, but it starred Christian Bale and Heath Ledger, that premiered in New York. In 2014, the Church of England votes in favor for allowing women to become bishops. In 1893, actor Spencer Williams of Amos and Andy, he was the guy that played Andy, Andrew H. Brown, and he was born on this day in Vidalia, Louisiana. Back in 1969 is when he passed away. Animator William Hanna, he was the famed duo of Hanna-Barbera, right? Made those fabulous cartoons that we all watched back in the old days. He was born on this day in 1910 in Melrose, New Mexico. He passed away March 22nd, 2001 at the age of 90 years old with throat cancer. Former President Gerald Ford was born on this day in 1913 in Omaha, Nebraska. He died December 26, 2006 at the age of 93. 1923, actor Dale Robinson was born on this day. Dale Robinson was in those great series such as Death Valley Days, Tales of Wells Fargo, The Iron Horse, and many more. He was born in Hara, Oklahoma. He passed away 2013. In 1930, actress, singer Polly Bergen was born on this day in history, and she was born in Knoxville, Tennessee. She passed away 2014. And let's see, actress, comedian Jane Lynch is celebrating a birthday today. She was born on this day in 1960 in Evergreen Park, Illinois. She's 62 today. Happy birthday, Jane Lynch. She's also an actor, comedian. Yeah, I did say that. Okay. In 1966, sex symbol of the 1960s, Brigitte Bardot, West German millionaire playboy Gunther Sachs in Las Vegas. In 1994, Princess Margaret's daughter, Sarah Armstrong Jones, weds ex-actor and fellow artist Daniel Gatto. And they got married at the St. Stephen's Walbrook Church, that's Walbrook Church in London, England. 2007, actor Jerry O'Connell weds actress Rebecca Romijan, and they got married in Calabasas, California. 2007, former actress, former Full House actress, comedian also, I believe, actress Jodie Sweden. She's activist as well, and she weds set designer Cody Harpin at the Little Church of the West in Las Vegas. And let's see, U.S. governor and presidential candidate Adlai Stevenson died on this day in history in 1965. At the age of 65, he died of heart failure, and he was born February 5th, 1900 in Los Angeles, California. And let's see, 1984, Philippe Wynne, soul singer of the Spinners, died at the age of 43. And finally, 2000, the year 2000, actress Meredith McRae. And those of you who may not know that name, Meredith McRae was one of the sisters on Petticoat Junction. Her father was a legendary actor, Gordon McRae. Well, she died in 1944. Well, she was born in 1944, but she passed away in 2000. And so that's what it is, this day in history. And those of you who may have anything that's going on in this day in history, you know, something that I didn't say, or maybe I didn't know about it because I don't know everything, you can pass it along to me, type it in there. I'll see you right there on the big screen, and we'll give you a chance to say hi to you anyway. So that's this day in history. So again, if you're just joining us through all of that, we do this every week, right? The name of the show is called Talk Back Live. We're here every Thursday, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, every Thursday, and we invite you to come along with us, be part of us each week. If this is your first time, don't make it your last time. For those of you who are here on a normal basis, you already know the protocol, you already know you're part of the family. And those of you who are joining us for the first time, you could be as much part of the family as anyone who joined us, say they've been here from the beginning, and you just be just as much part of the family. So we thank you so much for being along with us. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. Again, if you're watching us on Facebook, link this very show to all of your friends right now. Do that. That's what they call tagging. And then they'll see it, and they'll come on, they'll see you out there, and then you can talk to them too as well. Those of you who are watching us on YouTube, of course, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to us. We really would appreciate that. This way, when you subscribe, you'll get to see us live when we go on live, or even when we post a video. And of course, you guys who are watching us on Instagram, you already know the deal with that. Okay, so I guess we covered all of those bases. And thinking about that, we were talking about the early Ivana Trump, just in case you didn't know, as she passed away. I didn't get a chance to read the full story because I'm going through preparing, prepping for the show and going through a lot of things. And I didn't get a chance to read everything, or whether or not they actually disclosed the fact that she had an illness or whatever it was, if they released anything like that. I don't know if they did. If you know that better than I do, of course you can tell me about that. But she passed away. And as I said earlier, she was her own person. Later on in life, she had her own, she was an entrepreneur. She had her own clothing line, and she was living well. You didn't see her, you didn't hear about her too much. She wasn't political at all, obviously. She never got into that. And, obviously, with things are happening today, she never got into that. But yeah, so she is the mother of Eric, Donald Jr., and Ivanka. And so we want to send our blessings and our thoughts out to the family for your troubling times right now. And speaking of, well, sometimes you have to take the bitter with the sweet, right? Every once in a while, you have to take the bitter with the sweet. We were talking about, I saw a video last week. Last week, I saw a video. And when I go on YouTube, I like to watch some of these videos. Some of them are entertaining. Some of them, like, I wouldn't give a dime for. But some of them are entertaining. Have you ever seen some of them? We'll talk about some of those funny videos. But I just happened to catch Donald Trump Jr.'s video. I caught a video. I think it was last week. I didn't get a chance to talk about it last week. And of course, he went out. He was booed off stage. I don't know if you saw this video. This is probably old news by now. But I just caught it. I don't know when this took place. I wasn't really concerned, but I saw the video and I kind of like laughed myself. He was booed off stage by college students, right-wing college students. He got booed off stage, and this was in Los Angeles, California. He was selling a book. He was peddling his book, which I won't even mention the name of the book. I'm not going to draw attention to that, but he was trying to peddle his book. And his fiance, Kimberly, while they were booing Trump Jr., his wife or his fiance or whoever she is to him, I'm not sure of the status today of the two, but she got on the mic and insulted the college students, which didn't help Donald Trump's Jr. Cause any better. It didn't help it. It didn't help at all. She insulted the students there. These were college students, and they booed him. Right? They were all right-wing college students. Now, and the reason why they booed him off stage is because he refused to conduct a Q&A, questions and answers. He refused to conduct that. And college students like that, when you have a forum like that, not just college students, people, when you have a forum like that, you have time, there's always room for a Q&A section. You want to put that into your program. A little Q&A, if I'm out in public and I go out and I want to sell a book or something, and I go out there and people are going to ask me questions about the book. When did I get started? Of course, I'm going to ask you questions, but he refused to conduct a Q&A section. And so they booed him. And because they booed him, that triggered off these wild thoughts from his fiance or his wife, whoever she is, Kimberly, and she insulted the crowd. So that didn't help matters. So I just figured I'd just throw that out there. That was something that I hadn't seen, you know. So it takes someone to screw up your thing. If you know that you're in a little problem, you have a little trouble, right? You're being booed off stage. I mean, you got to be man or woman enough to, you know, stand up to that, you know, and not let anybody intervene, because they can make your cause even worse than what it is. But that was one of the things that I saw. Now, getting back to some of these other videos that I see on YouTube, and I like them. You have some of these people who became YouTube sensations, you know, and they go out there and they do pranks and things like that. Now, some of those pranks that they do, I laugh at them, but some of them I say, wow, I cringe, and I say, wow, you know, everyone doesn't have that kind of sense of humor. And I've seen pranks where people prank other people on the street. Now, of course, you want to stay off the street, right? I've seen people pull guns on people, you know, and you know, I cringe every time I see that. But some of the other videos that I watch, they pull these pranks, like they do things like, let's say, for instance, you know, they say things like, I'm looking for so-and-so place, and I'm looking for this, and they get close to the person. They say, you're a little too close to me. They say, oh no, because I can't hear you. So they pull all kinds of different pranks, and I've seen all kinds of videos. So the comedy videos are pretty good, depending on who's doing it and what they're doing. And some of them I say, you know, don't do it because everyone doesn't have that sense of humor. You can't go to every city because everyone is not that friendly. I mean, a lot of these were done in, let's say, California, where people tend to be friendly in California. Not everybody, but some, just like in New York. Some people tend to be friendly in New York, but then on the other hand, a lot of people are not friendly, and a lot of people don't have that kind of sense of humor. And people in Las Vegas, they kind of let you get away with that, because Las Vegas, they say anything goes. And so when you pull little pranks, depending on what the prank is, now you have to figure out, depending on what the prank is. You just can't do any kind of prank just for the heck of it, because then you might offend people. But they do it, and for the most part, they're pretty good pranks, comical pranks. You know, pranks where you're not going to pull a gun on someone, or you're not going to start a fight with anyone. Some people, they say, you know, excuse me, you know, get away from me, you know, something like that. But that's as far as it goes. And I like to watch those. Now, what about those videos? And you guys know what I'm talking about. You watch some of these. If you go on, they originate from YouTube, but they post them on Facebook, and which is where I get to see them. You know, and they have these, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you people seen these. They have these people who film, and they go into places, and their purpose is to go in these places and film, and to see if anyone tried to violate their rights. And they pose as journalists, which, by the way, they really shouldn't do that. They pose as press people, which they shouldn't do. You know, if you're not press, you're not, just because you go out and have a camera and you go out and film, that doesn't make you part of the press, you know. And people, they go out there and people talk to them and say, let me see your credentials. They say, I don't have to show you my credentials. You know, I have a right to be here. This is a public area and I can film all I want. They say, well, you know, you're not supposed to public. This is private property. And we're going to ask you to go across the street. You can do all the filming you want, but you can go across the street and film. They say, no, I'm not going to do it. And they just do it, you know. And I think what they're trying to do, either they're doing it on purpose, or maybe it's their way of selling their wares. You know, they defy these people and say, no, these are my rights and I'm supposed to be here. I could be here. It's a public place. I can be here and I'm not going anywhere. Some got arrested. I've seen actually people have handcuffs put on them. And, you know, so yeah, I look at those kind of videos for a while. I looked at them for a while, and guys, you guys who do those kind of videos, I say I don't support you. I think you're a waste of time. you know, we get where you're coming from. We get it that you have rights and you have to be there. But I think for the fact, I think they're trying to get a rise out of people. They're just doing it on purpose to I guess get a rise out of people or to sell their wares, you know. So you guys, and if you have anything to say about it, you know, this is a free forum. You can come on here and talk about it too. But I don't support. There are a lot of people do though, and a lot of people they talk to cops. And what I don't like about these guys is what they do is that they curse at the cops. They call them tyrants. They call them scumbags. They call them MFs. They do all of that. And of course, if you want to do something like that, if you're going to do something, a show like that, or a feature like that, or something you want to display like that, you want to be as professional as possible. Sure, you may not like what the people are telling you. They may not like you telling them, and you could present your case to them, say, hey, I have a right to be here. This is public property, so I am going to film here. And they have a tendency of asking people, can I have your name and your shield number? Because you're a public servant and you're supposed to provide this, or you must provide this when I ask you for it. And they're courteous enough, the cops are courteous enough to do that. And then when they ask them for their credentials, they say, no, I don't have to give you my credentials. So if you're going to do that, then don't pose as press, because press people, real legitimate press people, when they go on assignment and they're see, this is how, and I know this for a fact, press people, when they go out on assignments, they're not always welcome in certain places. You know, the police may tell them, you can't stand here, we're off limits here, you have to back up, you can't come in. And the press, they go by that, you know. But what they do, the press, legitimate press, they have, of course, you already know, they have the tags around their neck. So they have, it's just like a police officer. If he's playing clothes and he's going on the scene of a crime or something, right? He's going to expose that shield that's wrapped around his neck. So this way, you know, that's his identification, shield number, badge number, whatever you want to call it. It's all right there. And so, I kind of watch these things. I watch them in the beginning, but I feel later it's like a waste of time. It's a waste of my time. So I don't bother to watch them anymore. That doesn't mean that you may not, you may be entertained by it. So you just check them out. But I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about, because all of these videos surface on YouTube. Like I said, they originally come up on YouTube, but they wind up on Facebook. But you get the idea. No, I don't support those guys. If you're going to be press, if you are the member of the press, then you're going to have to act like a member of the press. If anyone shows you your credentials, they shouldn't even have to ask you for your credentials, because your credentials are right there, you know, if you're legitimate. But if you say, I'm the member of the press, and then you're an imposter, is what you are. If you can't prove that you're there, a member of the press have something around your neck. So you're an imposter, and I don't mind telling you that. You know, you don't mind calling the cops MFs and all of that. So I don't mind telling you, you're not a member of the press, you're an imposter. So let's see if I get any feedback about that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. My name is Frank Allan. Thank you so much for being with us. And we have movies, of course, those Turner Classic movies, the movies that you enjoy so much. Well, we have our picks of the week. And of course, you know, these are only my picks of the week. We come out and we make sure that you enjoy them. And keep in mind that whenever we give you these movies, what we do, we always do it in such a way where they don't overlap each other and you can enjoy them in full. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have them for you. So let's get started right away. Pal Joey from 1957, starring Frank Sinatra, Rita Hayworth, and Kim Novak. That comes on Turner Classic Movie. You can check that tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, so that's Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's the beginning of your weekend. That's a great, it's a great show, great movie. I like it. I've seen it 100 times, of course. Here's something I've seen 100 times, and it's a mad, 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 mad world from 1963, all-star cast. And I'm not going to name them all, but you get the idea. Phil Silvers is in there with Jack Benny, and I've seen Jack Benny and Rochester in there, and Jonathan Winters, and Sid Caesar, and Edie Adams, Don Knotts. I'm not going to name them all, but they were all the Spencer Tracy. You know, they were all there, a whole cast of characters right there. Anyway, that's 1963 all-star cast, and it's on Turner Classic Movies. You can check that out. It's coming on this Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And like every time I give you time, it's always Eastern, so you can check your time against mine. So that's 5 p.m. Eastern. It's a mad, 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 mad world. It's a long movie, so be prepared for a lot of laughter. Okay, and finally I have Bells Are Ringing, another comedy here from 1960 with Dean Martin and Judy Holliday, and that's on Turner Classic Movies. This one you can catch on Sunday at 5:45 p.m. It's a nice comedy, a little love story. Dean Martin is in there. I know Jean Stapleton, she has a part in that movie too. It's a great movie. I think you'll like it. So it's those are my picks of the week. Now, you may have seen others. If you go to Turner Classic Movies, you go through the guide, you say, there's more there. I haven't heard about that. That's not because I didn't like them. It's just that it wasn't one of my picks. But there are things there that you might like and watch and want to enjoy it and watch them and enjoy. Go there and check it out. There are more movies there on Turner Classic Movies too. You could also go on Movie on Demand, which I did early during the day, watch a few movies. I found a lot of great interesting movies on Movies on Demand. They're free movies. They're the free movies, and you can check them out. They have dates going back to the 30s and 40s, 50s, 60s, and so forth and so on. But you have to go down the line and find out what you might like and want to enjoy over the weekend. Also, you can go, there's a lot of networks. If you like Lifetime movies, you could go there to the Lifetime movie channel and you could see what they have there on demand, whatever is available to watch. If you like sports, I'm pretty sure if you don't watch something that you plan to watch in real time and you miss it, I'm pretty sure it's right there for you the following day on demand, depending on what network it is. We have ABC, CBS, NBC. Those were the original 3 networks, but now you got networks all over the place. You can go to all of those networks and see what they got going for you and enjoy them. They're great. You know, also you can go on, get movies, what they call pay-per-view. Pay-per-view movies, you can watch all of the latest movies that come out. They come out shortly, right after they're released from the theater. You know, they go to the theater and then they come to your home. A lot of people don't want to go to the theater, so they rather wait until it comes on pay-per-view and watch it there. Now, I guarantee you that you'll come out cheap if you watch it from home, the same movie, but it's a different price. What's the movies these days? 16 bucks? Could be more, 20 bucks? I don't know. Depending on where you are, what city you live. It's a lot of money. And people go for the ambiance of other people there. So that's always nice too. But again, you could watch all of those great movies right there on pay-per-view. So let me go over these movies again, and so you'll know about them. They're great movies. And we'll start Pal Joey with Frank Sinatra, Rita Hayworth, and Kim Novak. That comes on Turner Classic Movie. That's Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's a mad, 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 mad world. All-star cast of characters, and that's Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And finally, Bells Are Ringing with Dean Martin and Judy Holliday. And that's on Turner Classic Movie Sunday at 5:45 p.m. They're great movies. I think you're going to like it. And as I said, there's a chock full of other things that you can check out. Great movies, and it's great if you have cable. You can check out all of those movies. Now, cable, I know it's high, but you get all of those benefits of all of those great movies. So I think you'll like it. That's going to wrap it up for me, ladies and gentlemen. I had a good time. I hope you have too. I enjoyed it very much. I will be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for the coffee hour. I will be here with Brian Camp. He'll do his first half of the 2020 feature, which is sports, giving you the latest developments of today's world of sports on Sports Update. The second half of the 2020 Feature 22, the hour, will be DJ Pete. He will be along with us, and he'll give you entertainment news and recite all of those birthdays of people of notoriety. Check that out. That's all here. And of course, you'll be here, of course. I hope you will. Other than that, I'll be back here next week, next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for more Talk Back Live. So ladies and gentlemen, in the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant good night.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host Frank Allen. The producer is Al Dale, technical assistance Dave Taylor, research by Sandy Pierce, and I'm your announcer Donna Stanky. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.